passaporte.
Tenho tudo.
Dá notícias.
Tu também, pai.
Tempestade aproxima-se do Atlântico.
Já viste as capas de hoje?
E enviamos para o Mano.
Enviamos.
Olá, João. Este é o resumo do dia. O concerto mais aguardado.
Instala a nova app SAP e vê o mundo pelos teus olhos. SAP. Vê por ti.
Finalmente, o Smartphone Burger Pro. Servido com um processador ultra rápido. Provado e aprovado pelos gamers mais incansáveis. Até aqueles a quem a memória já foi à vida. Tem todos os condimentos para engordar os teus scores. Perfeito para perderes o controle dos teus níveis de humor e concentração.
Consumir fast food todos os dias vicia. Os scores em excesso também. Regressa à rotina com novas rotinas no telemóvel. Liga-te melhor, com moderação. Mel. Humaniza-te. Eu preciso do teu toque.
Não é só de sol, água e vento que se faz o teu mundo. Junta-lhe a imagem, o som e a palavra. E sonha mais alto. Se procuras eletricidade verde e poupança, este anúncio é para ti.
É para mim?
Sim, para ti. E para ti. Para todos.
Liga-te melhor e poupa ao juntares o melhor de dois mundos. Como os milhares de portugueses que já ligaram o Mel ao Mel Energia. Mel. Humaniza-te.
Saboreia a tecnologia do novo smartphone Choco Série Z, com bateria Super Power, para saciares a vontade de te ligares ao trabalho durante o jantar e fazeres replies até ao deitar, enquanto prejudicas gravemente o teu sono. O Choco Série Z aguenta, mesmo que tu não.
Consumir chocolates sem regras vicia. Os replies sem limites também. Regressa à rotina com novas rotinas no telemóvel. Liga-te melhor, com moderação. Mel. Humaniza-te.
Junta a imagem e o som à energia 100% verde e sonha mais alto.
Liga-te melhor e poupa ao juntares o melhor de dois mundos. Como os milhares de portugueses que já ligaram o Mel ao Mel Energia. E agora poupam na eletricidade e ainda têm o dobro da net fixa, da net móvel e dos Meus. Mel. Humaniza-te.
Apresentamos o novo smartphone Gummy Color 2, com ecrã XXL. Perfeito para te deliciares com scrolls infinitos, com capacidade de te fazer perder o apetite pela vida real e potenciar a tua instabilidade emocional. Não vai ser doce viver sem ele.
Consumir gomas a toda a hora vicia. Os scrolls sem parar, também. Regressa à rotina com novas rotinas no telemóvel. Liga-te melhor, com moderação. Mel, humaniza-te.
Levas-te passaporte?
Tenho tudo.
Dá notícias.
Tu também, pai.
Tempestade aproxima-se do Atlântico.
Já viste as capas de hoje?
Enviamos para o Mano.
Enviamos.
Olá, João. Este é o resumo do dia. O concerto mais aguardado.
Instala a nova app SAP e vê o mundo pelos teus olhos. SAP, vê por ti.
Welcome to Portugal Tech Week in Palace by Make. We're happy to invite you to join this event called Building Vertical AI by Jeff Kim, the Chief Executive Officer of Yonolja Cloud and Chief Strategic Officer of Yonolja Group. So I will pass the word to our speaker to start the presentation, and really looking forward to learn about your journey.
Yeah, thank you for the introduction. First of all, I would like to introduce Yanulja. So Ya means hey. Nulja means let's play. So hey, let's play. So we'd like to make the vertical AI, in other words, agentic AI for the travel sector in the future. But agentic AI is not easy task to achieve easily. So that's why we have focused on the data quality. Data is everything to make a right AI. This is why we try to develop the kind of the ecosystem to collect high quality data to make a foundation to build AI in the future. I think we may have a path to build the AI future. First, we are using ANI. This is the AI we are using like ChatGPT or Gemini or the Claude. But we may have a AGI in the near future. So I have had many meetings with several generative AI companies from the Google and the OpenAI and Anthropic and so on. And mostly they mentioned that it will take around 3 years to have a AGI, the human-like intelligence. And then we may have another AI called as agentic AI. Easily you can understand agentic AI like a neuron. So our brain is kind of the AGI, human-like intelligence. But only with the brain, it's impossible to eat, see, speak, walk, or play. So we should have neurons for each organ. For example, hand should be connected with the brain through the neuron. Also, foot. We may have another neuron to connect between brain and foot. But the neuron for hand is totally different from the neuron for foot. That's the reason why we can make a vertical AI, in other words, agentic AI for specific sector. If you have expertise for specific industry, that means you can lead the business of agentic AI for specific organ, the industry. I have many conversations with generative AIs. And as always, they told me that they cannot do such task. They are interested in the brain area to replace humans' intelligence, while they believe that it's very challenging to make a agentic AI because their expertise is a little bit different from the company leading the agentic AI. And then we may have another AI called as a physical AI. physical AI can be a robot, humanoid, mobility like the Tesla car. So there are many endpoints. In other words, the organ. So this hand is human currently. But in the future, we are telling that this human will be replaced with the robot or IoT devices or the others. So physical AI can work together with brain and neuron. This is why the vertical AI can create another value through the physical AI in the future. So this is not the theory from me. This is very general theory which every AI gurus and the AI companies are talking about. So in that sense, I would like to introduce what Yanulja has built at the travel sector. As you can see this video, AI is for human, not for machine. So in this sense, I would like to talk about the AI from the human-centered point of view. So Yanurja means, hey, let's play, as I told you. Why? We made this name because we believe that everything should be for human, for traveler, for the players. This is why we would like to pursue the vision like, hey, let's play. We would like to make you enjoy your life. So in that sense, high quality data is necessary. So for the last more than 10 years, we have focused on how to collect high quality data. Because with high quality data, it's possible to make good insights. So as you understand, in the beginning, most of the AI companies have focused on the insight through the data management or data insights. For example, the Palantir is one of the examples. After having data for the defense, then they try to make analytics or the data management. Similar to the Databricks, Datadog, and the Snowflake. So most of the companies has focused on the quality of data first to have a smarter insights. Second is about operational efficiency. That's the second step. But if you can let your colleagues work with AI for your coding or for your customer service or for your operation, definitely it's possible to enhance the operational efficiency. Third one is about the personalized experience. It's about the interface. I think AI is not about the interface. Definitely AI is a utility which everybody can use. Within a couple of years, I believe that it's impossible to be differentiated with kind of the approach to use the AI better than before. Currently, probably you may have a better knowledge about the AI. You may have a better the kind of the protocol or better process about how to use AI better than the others. But like utility, electricity, or air, it's impossible to be different only with electricity, right? So that's why AI is not about interface, but at least we know that, like a chatbot, personalized experience is possible. But I will talk about more in detail about the personalization through the agentic AI at the following pages. But the point is that AI is not the interface, but the ecosystem to create the hyper personalization in the future. So this is why we have focused on the supplier first. Supplier is one of the most important data source. But if we do not collect the quality data from the supplier like hotel, then definitely it's very difficult to provide better service for our travelers. For example, the images, description, the rate, or availability. Most of the important data should come from suppliers. But previously, we didn't have a right the gateway or right the interface to collect the data from the supplier easily. And second is about the channel. Having a data from the supplier, many channels like online travel agencies, booking platforms, or travel agencies can provide the data for the end consumer. But if we do not have a good quality data from the supplier, definitely it's very challenging to provide good service for the end consumer. Also, usually channels don't have a capability with big data technology. Think about this. In terms of the hotel, we start from the property, and then room type, like a standard room or deluxe room, and then rate plan, like a breakfast included or not, and then policy, like a refundable or not. Such kind of data should come from supplier. But if we cannot identify this inventory is same as the others, then even though we are collecting huge amount of data, it's impossible to show properly. This is why the big data is quite important for the channel, which is what we try to build. Third one is about the consumer. Luckily, we became the largest booking platform for the travel, leisure, and the entertainment in Korea. Currently, more than half of Korean population are using our service for their travel, entertainment, or leisure. Are you familiar with the K-pop stars like Blackpink or the BTS or the others? Then if you'd like to go to their concert, you should visit our platform because we have more than 80% market share out of the concert market in Korea, and every popular K-pop stars have an exclusive contract with us because we have a good fundamental to provide better service for such concert. So I believe that we contribute the success of the K-pop and the concert market in Korea through this type of the advanced system. So for example, in Korea, if you visit the concert for the BTS, then you can easily enter into the venue because we provide the facial recognition together with entertainment companies. So even though having more than 100,000 the fans and audience there, you don't have to wait in front of the gateway. So this is what we try to build together with our partners like suppliers. So in terms of the suppliers, we are calling our service as a cloud hospitality solution. In other words, SaaS. Tenor, we made a transaction solution with big data technologies. In terms of the consumer, we built data solution to provide the differentiation. Think about this. I think most of the travel services looks very similar. Similar interface with similar inventory and similar information. If you try to book the hotel, definitely you try to compare the price because the number of the inventories looks very limited. That is why you should compare the price. But if we are using the AI interface, it looks very weird to compare the price. What's the difference? So in that sense, this data solution can make a kind of the hint to change our habit to book the hotel. For example, if you try to buy one hotel's standard room with breakfast and refundable, in that case, the price is $200 US, for example, then the AI interface can ask, okay, but the inventory's price may go down. So this is the price watch feature. Then probably you would like to wait to buy the room, or you would like to use another feature like a price drop protection or lowest price guarantee or the rebooking. So if the price go down, automatically the room can be rebooked with a lower price. Definitely you would like to buy that. Also, it's possible to provide another features like if you don't want to have an amenity, you can have a $5 discount. Or if you would like to go to the breakfast restaurant at 6:30 instead of the 7:30, you can have another $10 discount. So depending on your preference, it's possible to have a discount correlated with the lower low cost. So those kind of the features can be possible through our data solution. That's what we try to build as an agentic AI company rather than the generative AI. So we have our own foundation model. So we provide the translation or the image creation with our foundation model, but we believe that those type of the generative AI type features will be quite common, like utility. This is why we are focused on the agentic AI play to connect between supplier to the consumer with quite differentiated features with our own data. This is why we are focused on the quality of data. So through that, currently we are working with around 1.3 million suppliers. Also, we are working with the 18,000 channel customers, including most of the travel companies, the Booking.com or the Expedia, Trip.com, and the wholesaler like Bed Banks or many travel agencies are working together with us because our data is much better than the others. This is why they would like to use our data for their business. Also, as I told you, more than half of Korean population are enjoying our service. So through this local platform in Korea, we can prove the benefit and the advantage through our service. Then we are selling the services to our suppliers and channel. So in Korea, you can test and you can have a good test result. With such track record, we are selling our services outside Korea. This is why we are doing these businesses in more than 170 countries. Okay, so we started our business in Korea first. This is why we have built the whole ecosystem in Korea. So we provide our solution for most of the hotel in Korea. Also, as a big data platform, we are providing the data to everybody in Korea. Also, more than half of Korean population are using our B2C service as well. And then we have expanded into the other Asian countries. So we had the investment from the Booking Holdings. They have many the B2C, the OTA platforms like Booking.com or the Agoda and so on. Also, we had an investment from the GIC, Singaporean Sovereign Fund. So in total, around $200 million investment at the time to expand into the other Asian countries. So we have expanded into Oceania, and we have expanded into the India. So currently, we became the largest hospitality solution provider in India. And then we have expanded into Europe. So to expand our business into Europe, we had another investment from the SoftBank Vision Fund. So they invested $1.7 billion into us to help us to expand our business into the other countries like Europe and Africa and Latin America as well. Also, recently we are expanding into the United States. So currently we are focusing on Americas because we have invested into the Europe for a long time for the last 3 to 4 years. But as a one country, US is the largest market for the travel sector. This is why we started from the Korea and Asia, and then Europe, EMEA, and the Americas. So we would like to make an advanced system to transform the travel sector. So currently we have 70 offices in 30 countries, and we are doing the business in more than 170 countries. So Yanuja would like to transform the future of travel. For that, we have focused on the high quality data, and together with the other partners and the generative AI players, we would like to make another evolution into the agentic AI, in other words, the vertical AI. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jeff, for this amazing presentation. This is, I gotta say, it's really, really impressive, and I'm looking forward to getting a chance to get all those discounts in my future travels. So, as you know, like we are going to go through a few questions. Dear audience, if you have some questions, like you will be very welcome to ask them as well. We'll start with a few on our side, and then we'll be happy to hear your questions. So let's start with a more general question. Can you tell us what sets Yanolja to be different from other travel companies in the age of AI?
Across the value chain of travel industry, we have had quite the big issues of fragmentation and complexity and outdated system. For example, in terms of the supplier side, mostly they are using the Excel or Note. Or if they have enough budget, then they can have a on-premise system. That means they have a server inside the hotel. So they had difficulties in checking the performance of the hotel through the mobile. If they try to check the performance through the mobile, they may have a very critical security issues. This is why cloud migration is quite important. So we try to introduce the cloud for the hotel, airlines, and the leisure facilities to transform their operation in the cloud. Also, they're using our cloud service, in other words, a SaaS. That's why we could collect very high quality data directly from the suppliers. So in that sense, that's quite the first business we made more than 10 years ago. That's the first differentiation, I think. Second is about the connectivity. As I told you, we didn't have a mapping technology. So if I can identify different inventories easily, definitely we can make huge amount of the new services. But property mapping was possible, but room type or rate plan or the policy mapping was impossible. This is why we have developed. And currently, as I told you, more than 18,000 channel customers like a booking platform or the travel agencies and so on are using our data, because with the mapping, it's much easier to use the data. Without the mapping, AI or whoever, father of AI, no, they cannot use the data to make good services. So in that sense, this type of the approach has been quite important. Last one is about the B2C. We made most of the AI services, from the AI concierge, AI itinerary, or the translation tool, or the automated, the voice, the CS, like we are calling that as Tela. So if you try to call to our CS, then our AI can answer to everything. So we have built so many AI services, but who cares? It's impossible to make our customer understand such new services. If the service is not proven, it's impossible to sell the service to them. This is why we could leverage our B2C service very, very successfully. At least in Korea, Yanuja is kind of the king of the travel. So for example, one of one CEO of our subsidiary became the Minister of Tourism in Korea because we know the market very well and we built the ecosystem itself. So we would like to kind of the copy and paste with our success in Korea, but it's not easy. That's why we try to understand each market to localize our service, but at least we can test any new services in advance in Korea first. And our partners trust such track record.
That's great. Thank you so much for this answer. Next question would be like a bit about the future, right? From your point of view, from where you stand, how do you think the AI and agentic AI in particular, how are they going to shape the next stage of travel?
I think it's not only about travel, but about every industry, I believe. It depends on whether you believe in AGI or not. If you do not believe in AGI, probably the scenario will be totally different from what I told you. But if you believe in the AGI, I think this path looks very clear, and I'm confident with this path. First, what does AI mean? Yeah, more than that. So in terms of the mobile, in terms of the internet, it's possible to avoid such innovation. You can go to the offline market to buy your product, right? It's possible to make a call without the internet. So basically, it's possible to avoid such innovations up to now. But in case of the electricity, almost it's impossible to avoid. Without the internet, I think it's possible to live, but without the electricity, I think it's quite difficult to live, I think. That's the small difference between the previous innovations like a mobile internet and the AI. So AI will influence every journey from the supplier side and the consumer side, and also it will influence the offline side as well, not only about the online. This is why we should understand how the AI will impact on our life. So in that sense, with the AGI, easily we can understand. You can have a 100 very smart assistant, dedicated assistant only for you. Why 100? Because you can have assistants who are very professional for the text. You can have another assistants who are very professional for the travel. Also, you can have another assistants professional for the study. So you can have very smart assistants, even 100. Then what will change it? What will be change it? You can do everything for yourself. You don't have to have the others to make something. So recently, many AI gurus talk about kind of the next unicorn only with one employee. So this type of the innovation as an assistant will be the first change in our life. And then, so in terms of the travel, think about this. You can have an assistant. So assistant can find out the many options for you to go. Also, they will help you to book the hotel, leisure facilities, or the flight, and so on. Also, during your trip, they will help you to guide how to find out that location or how to use such service better than the others. So there are many advices you can have with the assistant. That's the first step. Second step is about more complicated and more kind of the serious, I think. Your assistant can interact with the other's assistant. Multi-agent model. So if your assistant can interact with the others, then you can imagine totally new services. Like, for example, my assistant can interact with hotel's assistant. Then probably I can ask anything. So my assistant know my preference very well. So my assistant may ask such customization for my service or for my room or for my ticket. But without better operation, sometimes it's very difficult to custom such service, because if we should have the huge manual burden, probably it's hard to ask such kind of the customization. So this is what we are doing. So we hired more than 1,000 independent contractors. So we can let such housekeeper follow any assignment directly. So we don't have to have the intermediaries like managers or the person who need to order separately. So we can make the user can be directly connected with the housekeeper. Also, we can let the user assign some of the preferred assignment or the customization directly to the housekeeper. So we are doing this test for the 100 hotels in Korea first. So this type of the communication can enable the custom service. So that's one of the benefits you can expect through the multi-agent model. In addition to that, if you can have a robot, then definitely the operation efficiency or hyper personalization will be possible. So I don't want to talk about the physical AI or robot too much, because we cannot foresee when such physical AI will be available. Nobody guarantee, nobody promise the timing of the physical AI, I think. But at least generative AI, like AGI, together with agentic AI, looks a very imminent future, I believe.
Amazing, thank you. One more question, at least, before we switch to the audience. So how does this whole AI strategy of Yanolja, how does it deliver the value both to the partners and to the travelers?
In the short term, there are 3 areas. First, the static data. So even though we are collecting the data directly from the hotel, sometimes hotel doesn't have enough images. In that sense, we should create such image through the AI. Also, the images should be changed according to the season. So I visited the Boston during the winter, then I found out the snow over the river. In that case, if I try to book the hotel during the winter, we expect to have an image with the snow. But if the picture looks like a summer image, then definitely my expectation may be very different from the image. So that's the reason why I think static data can be enhanced through the AI. Second one is about the operation, including the R&D. So coding or the other operations will be automated through the AI. Third one is about the interface I just introduced. So we are using the ChatGPT easily. So probably many services will be customized based on the AI interface rather than the previous ones. But in a mid to long term, I think there are more opportunities together with AI. So again, AGI will be the utility. So you can easily use such AI power. So how to leverage the power for yourself? So in that sense, I think you can have the AI as a kind of the common resource, to make your own services. Again, AI, the generative AI companies cannot be a professional for specific industries. So if you understand specific industry very well, definitely it's possible to make amazing and totally new service through the such utility like AI services, I think. This is why within a couple of years, you can expect very new kind of the newly emerging AI companies. So in terms of the valuation, we are talking about the NVIDIA or OpenAI or those type of the first version of the AIs. But within a couple of years, even now, the vertical AI companies like Shopify or the Palantir or the Databricks, they are growing quite quicker than the others. And also think about this. If government cannot control the utility, it can be very risky, right? So it can be very risky. So this is why government should be involved, engaged in the AGI level. Think about the nuclear weapon. If government cannot control nuclear weapon, then definitely it can be very risky. This is why I think the government or the society will be engaged in the AGI level. This is why we deal with the utility. So on top of the utility, we need to think of another ideas to make the money or the services. So I worked at Google about 20 years ago. At the time, I thought through the search, probably Google may dominate every industries, but it was impossible. Search is just gate. Similarly, I think with the utility of AI, we may have a huge amount of other opportunities to make a business.
Indeed. Thank you so much for the answers. So trust me, I have way more questions, but like just to give you the chance to interrupt me. So I saw some hands. Yeah, exactly.
I'm Asif Mohammed here from Ireland. We are in the manufacturing space, so again, vertical aspect. Just a question, when you guys started, 10 years ago, the challenge of the data gap with your suppliers, getting them on board, what kind of methodology did you use to build that foundation? Because that's exactly what we're facing in manufacturing. And second, with the pace of change that's happening as an organization, how are you keeping everyone in the team aligned and executing at that pace? Because 10 years ago is different to, today and tomorrow kind of stuff. So thanks.
Great question. Thank you.
I think SaaS business have been evolved into the AI because in the beginning, SaaS business, the cloud-based solutions or softwares, were for the better tool to enhance the efficiency. That's it. Also, depending on the subscription fee, it's very difficult to make a big fortune. So that's the reason why 10 years ago, nobody cared about the SaaS business that much. But thanks to the AI, we could have opportunity to leverage the data. Without the AI, frankly speaking, it's impossible to leverage such data successfully. So it's not only about the travel sector. For example, the logistics and smart factory or education or the tax, legal services and defense and the e-commerce. There are so many SaaS companies developing their own capability to collect the data. But currently, they are telling their identity as an AI company rather than the SaaS. Nobody talk about the SaaS anymore because SaaS has been transformed into the AI. But in other words, I think SaaS is not important. More important thing is that whether you have a high quality data or not. Whether you are collecting the high quality data real time directly with big data ecosystem. That's more important. And in terms of the vision, we started our business in Korea first. And we were very lucky because, as I told you, we have a very high penetration and market share for most of the travel categories and the leisure and tour and activity categories and the entertainment categories. And few years ago, we have had very high attention thanks to the emergence of K-pop. Seriously, so have you heard about the Gangnam Style? The Psy is a singer. So Psy normally has more than almost 40 concerts only through our platform. So almost 10 million the users would like to come to our platform to buy the ticket. If you would like to come to Korea, usually you should visit our service to buy the ticket. This is a big momentum for us to understand this type of the innovation is possible. So that's the reason why, as I told you, the CEOs became the leader for the government. At the same time, we could have a huge kind of the exchange with many global partners. Also, I think investment is another good signal for the internal employees to trust our vision. So as I told you, the Booking Holdings, having Booking.com and Agoda and Hotels Combine and so many global platforms invested into us. Why? Because they trust that they are doing the business only with one stage as an OTA. But the big data platform or the SaaS for supplier, definitely they should be connected with such players to enhance their service quality. That was very good signal. Also, we try to have a global investors to make our internal employees be confident with our vision. So I think that's the reason why, anyway, the SaaS business require the budget and the huge amount of the cash. So in that sense, investment should be well aligned with such kind of the vision, which is very helpful to make the employees be more confident.
Great, thank you. I have one more question, can I? Thank you. So obviously you're a champion of building a vertical AI. But for many founders, many business owners, managers, and so on, of course, it's very tempting to just use ChatGPT, right, and try to add a plugin and just go with it. Maybe you can walk us through some case where maybe you were trying to use a horizontal AI like ChatGPT, and it didn't work for you, it failed, and vertical AI kind of took over. And what was at stake in that case?
Frankly speaking, I think the AI business looks very early stage. Yeah, very early stage. So I don't think Yanulja is a champion for the AI service for the travel sector, but at least we have proved the quality of data. But I think vertical AI will be developed together with generative AIs mostly. For example, in Korea, almost the 40% out of the Korean population are using the ChatGPT. So 10 years ago, I moved from the Yahoo to Google because Google became the main gate as a search engine. So I'm feeling very similar kind of the movement or migration from the search to new interface with AI. So in this sense, to make a good synergy, definitely collaboration together with generative AIs looks quite important. So for example, in terms of the OpenAI, they launched the first AI agent model called as an operator. So out of the travel sector, Yanulja and the Booking Holdings, the Booking.com, were the first only two partners for their first AI agent model, for example. We are working with the Google as well. So we made the AI concierge service through the collaboration with Google and Google Maps data. Similarly, we are working with the other major generative AIs as well because I think if we'd like to be a main gate like Google search engine or OpenAI ChatGPT, I think it looks quite impossible because it costs a lot to build the AI infra and so on. So in that sense, rather than competing with that kind of the very challenging area, it's better to be collaborate with such players. So recently AIO is a very hot topic like SEO. SEO means search engine optimization to have a free traffic from the search engine. So which is very, very popular topic about the 20 years ago. But currently AIO is very good topic as well to have a free traffic from the AIs. So similarly, I think we can think of many good ideas to leverage the migration from the traditional interface to the new one.
Thank you. More questions? Sorry.
So quality data is critical in this model. And in your business model, you've acquired that quality data through the SaaS platform you provide to suppliers. Have you seen other data acquisition models that may compete against yours, or is another way for even your company to acquire quality data?
Great question. I think there are three criteria to identify the quality of data. First one is the streamlined data, because without the streamlined data, it's very difficult to leverage the data itself. But streamlined means cloud-based. So if we are using the data without the cloud, I think no possibility to leverage the data. It's not only about accessibility. So cloud looks quite fundamental technology, I think, because if I'm storing the data into my home, then definitely I should develop everything at home. But if so it's kind of the open source. So I can use any kinds of the technologies from the cloud. I can test. I can use the technology very, very easily from the cloud. So data in the cloud is very important one. So my colleague working at Google together moved to the Amazon more than 10 years ago. This is why Yanorja was a kind of the test bed for the cloud migration in Korea. So we had a huge amount of the difficulties in adopting the cloud for everywhere. But currently, I think this is why we built our architecture based on the cloud from the bottom. Second one is about the proprietary. I have heard about kind of some comments that we have huge amount of data already, but my kind of the employees do not use the data that well. So I hate them. Sometimes I have heard such kind of the comments, but most of the data are not proprietary. The company doesn't have any control using the data, customizing the data. This is why I think proprietary is second criteria. Third one is the customization. Based on the new the agentic AI ecosystem, you will make any application in seconds in the future, because per each the vertical, we will have a customized data unit architecture. The data unit architecture should be different between the sectors. And then we may have a endpoint to connect such data unit very easily. Only with this, it's possible to make any type of application very easily in seconds. You know, to make application, usually it takes at least 3 months, sometimes 6 months, sometimes 1 year. But under this ecosystem, it will take seconds to make any application which you'd like to make. And such application will be an AI agent, and with this, probably we can make a multi-agent model in the future. But without this long-term future, only with this architecture, it's possible to make a differentiation. So that's the reason why the customization is very, very critical, and that's the area Gen AI doesn't know that well. This is why I think we can have an opportunity as a particular AI.
Thank you very much.
So has Nyoja built a data customization or data structure customization engine?
We are working on, yeah. So this is a very interesting concept. So usually, most of services looks like kind of the intermediary, but data pass through without nothing, without anything. But we try to build kind of the data lake to tweak the data. The tweaking the data is quite important to make a differentiation. So it's very long story, so I can explain the details, but not exactly data lake, but the data lake-like concept to tweak the data to make a unique inventory or the unique pricing is one of the advantages we have enjoyed. This is why I introduced the data solution. So we launched the data solution a couple of years ago, and the portion of in terms of the revenue, the portion of the data solution became almost 10%, and the contribution margin is 90%, and the EBITDA margin is almost 50% because the data is ours, proprietary. Also, we built a cloud-based tweaked data is what we are selling to major travel companies already. So it's quite pioneer service we have launched and which has been very successful. This is why some of my colleagues or experts mentioned that Yanuja has a possibility to become the agentic AI company for the travel sector sometime.
Great, thank you. I have a question that is a bit less technical and more philosophical, ethical maybe, because I mean, like Yanolja is a very global company, and you obviously have a lot of influence on the travel industry. You automate check-ins, you automate housekeeping verification, even price negotiation, and all that in the industry that is based on hospitality, on human connection. So the question is, where do you draw the line? Like, what should never be automated, in your opinion?
So I try to think this AI ethical issue a lot because I like one kind of theory called as a killing robot. So if we allow the robot kill our enemy, then probably there may be some possibility of the robot killing us. So we are allowing the robot kill the enemy, but I'm really cautious about the huge risk in the future. So in that sense, I think AI looks like a nuclear weapon. So we should control the AI very, very cautiously. At the same time, the supervising or the monitoring or the human's environment optionally looks very important. So in that sense, we try to remove the repetitive task because such repetitive task doesn't matter, not important that much. It's impossible to make you be more satisfied with the service through the repetitive work. So we try to save such kind of the task with lower value. Instead, we try to let the human think of the better ideas or better service. So I saw the presentation from the Sharapova at the Web Summit yesterday, and I understand that thanks to the AI, minimizing the time consuming for analyzing the other players' data. So usually it took more than the 2 hours, but thanks to the AI, it's possible to shorten even up to the 2 minutes. Then what's the next step of Sharapova or tennis players? They may think of how to play. They can focus on how to play rather than analyzing the data. So I believe that playing the tennis is a core. Analyzing the data is not core as a tennis player. So similarly, I believe that we try to introduce AI, but definitely AI should be human-centered. If not, then it will be kind of the big risk. That's what I believe.
Thank you. Makes sense. Do we have? Okay. I'm gonna need some help.
Thank you. So yeah, my question is about more like the execution of having applied AI to different units of the business. Curious how that process, the initial process of discovery and implementation worked. So when the company strategically decided to stop ignoring AI, as many large companies still do, unfortunately, the process was led by internal resources, internal teams, or through external partners like design innovation agencies or AI consultancy or similar type of partners?
Great. So sometimes I felt many companies try to resemble to the generative AIs. They're doing the same job as a generative AI. In that case, I think in the short term, it's possible to make some benefits, but in the long term, probably it's quite challenging to compete with the player, the generative AI. So in that sense, again, I think if anyone are collecting the high quality data, then you may have an opportunity sometime. But as I told you, AI is a kind of I think AI looks like Excel. So long time ago, if you are quite professional in using Excel well, your performance can be totally different from your peers. Because Excel is great to calculate numbers or analyze the data. But currently, I think nobody cares about Excel too much recently. So in that sense, I think AI should be a common tool. So last week, we had an AI hackathon. So we tried to educate our employees to be very familiar with AI tool. And I was surprised that usually, in terms of the previous hackathons, the engineering guys, the R&D, tried to attend the hackathon. But in terms of previous one last week, 40% out of the participants were non-engineers, from the design, from the CS, from the assistant even. So I believe that this is very good kind of evidence that we should be very familiar with AI, like Excel. If you do not use Excel that well, about the 10 years ago, it's impossible to survive at the company sometimes. But only with the AI, it's impossible to be differentiated. This is why I think we should let our colleagues understand AI should be a kind of the basic skill rather than the differentiator. And also, hackathon is one of the good idea to train the colleagues. So I have seen some of the companies providing the kind of the hackathon service. So usually it took only 2 days to be very familiar with most of the AI tools.
Thank you. I really love this idea, and I totally agree that AI is a necessary tool in our day-to-day life from now on, so we kind of have to deal with it. One more question. So, I mean, Olja have been doing great, and it's a very successful company, but we all love some stories about fails. Can you share a story about some AI feature or implementation that didn't work. How did that go?
We developed AI concierge service together with Google because concierge is about the hotel itself and nearby information. But in terms of the data inside the hotel, we have very good data already, information already. But nearby data, we should depend on the other partners. So in that sense, I thought Google Map is the best source of the nearby data. That's the reason why I reached out to Google to build AI concierge service together. But the adoption rate of AI was very low because AI concierge is not that kind of the familiar service. The consumer would like to use the human-based concierge service still. That's the reason why the adoption rate was not that high. So that's the reason why we have the changes, the interface or kind of the feeling through AI should be changed. So previously, our AI concierge service looks like a real AI, but currently we try to change the interface similar to the human to increase the adoption. So again, without the human-centered approach, only with AI, it's not easy to make a good service or interface. If you try to automate your internal process, I think AI is great, but in terms of the touch point with consumer, customer, or the others, then I think human-centered approach is necessary to make a success, I believe.
Thank you. More hands. So yeah, more questions from the audience? The time. How much do we have? None? Oh well. Then yeah, thank you. Honestly, I suppose both me and the audience still have lots of more questions, but maybe you can stay a bit more with us and share some information with us through the networking. Thank you so much for the talk. It was really insightful. Thank you all for joining. And please give a round of applause for Jeff.
Thank you.
check.
So we are ready to start. Okay, guys. Hi, I'm Igor. I'm from Web2Wave. Thank you for coming for our meetup today. We saw that during Web Summit there are not much talks about mobile applications, and like we with the Quantum do a lot of stuff around mobile app growth. So we decided to make this event, and yeah, today we'll talk about how to acquire users and convert them. Diana from at Quantum will start and talk about the first part, the user acquisition, how they do it, and what are the news about Facebook Andromeda, and then I will talk about psychology of sales. Yeah, so Diana, please.
Yay! So first of all, hi, my name is Diana, nice to meet you, and so happy to see so beautiful faces here who are really interested in digital marketing, and the hottest topic is performance marketing. And today I will discuss more about like different strategies when using channels. I will share some notes about creatives as well and how we implemented AI to our creative production. So a little bit about myself and why you shouldn't listen to me today. Have been on the digital marketing more than 6 years, involved in my career from the user acquisition manager to the biz dev. I have experience in health and fitness, edtech, fintech verticals, launched more than 25 projects, including web-to-web campaigns. Right now I'm based in Barcelona, so you can see me around, and I'm a big fan of consumer behavioral and really love to analyze that people buy that or our product. And some words about at Quantum. So we are a performance marketing agency. We help our clients to scale their app businesses across Europe, across US. And we help from the above side. We create a creative strategy, and we also work with the user acquisition management as well. And here you can see the main traffic sources when we are working with. The most familiar one is Meta, Google, TikTok, Snapchat, and networks. And what is really interesting, we have internal at Quantum Design, we have like a design studio. That means that we produce all our creatives in-house. Okay, let's go. So the most asked question that people ask me during conferences is, from which channel should I start? And I will say that based on our data, based on our clients, 80% of our clients use Meta as a primary source because it has a really solid mix of reach, targeting, and conversion potential. And we really see that it is like one of the most powerful algorithm, but actually can predict people behavior and can predict that people will buy that product even before that they really decided to buy it. So yeah, Google search is a powerful second choice, especially if you hire like high intent product, because you already work with the audience who are really interested in your product or in problem solving that your product can solve. TikTok, I will say that for some clients, it even can be number one, especially if your product are driven by UGC content. And what is really cool about the TikTok is that it offers like a variety of tools that you can use and create creative for free. Pinterest, I will say that it's a really underrated channel, especially if you like your audience is primarily female or let's say visually driven. Everything related to the e-com works perfectly there, and maybe like interior design or something similar. And based on our data, what is interesting that CPMs are more stable there and the LTV more longer comparing to the Meta. Snapchat can be like supportive channel for your strategy, but it's for more for the younger audience and to the specific geo, for example, if you're reaching the MENA. So let's talk about like the hottest topic everyone talking about, and it's of course Meta. Meta Andromeda. It's a Meta algorithms new names. And I guess it's not invited. It wasn't invited this year. And the top companies, top buyers had been using them long before it got an official name. And whatever like Meta updates their algorithms, you can hear the same advice everywhere, just to make more creatives, just to be more creative. And we'll say that actually it's a good advice because creative is king right now. But I would like to emphasize right now, if you face the extremely high CPM or CPA in your ad accounts, especially in September or October, just don't be panic. We have been through that many times before as a marketers. And like algorithms roll out, pixel retain, conversion jump, old approaches stop working, but everything stabilizes again. It's like, it's life. And but what we definitely see that there is no one proven strategy on the market yet. And as a most marketers, we are still like adapting to that we definitely see some patterns, and I would like to share it with you. So first of all, Andromeda rewards diversity, and it means that across different channels, across different projects and verticals, they see the same. If the product uses like a really wide mix of the creative formats, for example, like UGC, video testimonial, some static, some product demo or something like that, they prefer more stable or even better, compared to the people who are just like using, for example, a few hooks or slightly change call to action or the headlines. So yeah, Andromeda rewards diversity. And here you can see the practical things what we advise you to do today. So we, in each ad set, right now we keep approximately 30, 40 different types of active creatives, and it means that we like rotating them weekly up to 17 variation. We definitely stop early if none show potential, because like if gave us like set budget, and it means what if they see in the first 2 days there is no potential in the creative, we just put it on the pause, and we also remove that ones as well from our ad set. And the craziest thing here I would like to share with you, and don't think that we are like super crazy, but actually can help you to be good at your performance. It's adding 20 unique concepts weekly. And yeah, it's like a bunch of creatives what you should create, but it can actually help you to survive. And it means that you should create like a really unique ones. It doesn't mean that you should like change only 3 seconds of the creatives and just like save the whole body of the creative. You should like rechange it. For example, you have one message for your audience, and you can create and use, for example, cartoon style, and the other one you can use the UGC style to them. What did we change as well? So we are used to classic setup. There we use just like one campaign, one ad set, and one creative idea. We just put 2-3 variation focused on one goal with one message. And we try campaign budget optimization, we try ad budget optimization, ad set budget optimization, sorry. But we have similar results there. And right now, we just, let's say, launch campaigns in batch. It means that we just put, I don't know, 50 creatives in one ad set, and we really follow Meta Advantage Plus recommendation for everything, for audience, for placements, for creatives, for budget. And the main idea behind this is just to give the algorithm more freedom to optimize and allocate spend efficiently. And it's very interesting because years ago, we didn't believe in Meta Advantage Plus campaigns, and we tried many times for different clients and verticals, and it just didn't say anything, or didn't show anything for us. But right now, we just see that actually it's like improved. I don't know, maybe it's gathering more data across this channel, but it's really working. What else? What did we notice as well? We definitely noticed that the budget distribution has changed across different creatives. If before we just most of campaigns was driven by 2 or 3 best performing creatives, and we just put it away as a separate group to maximize results. Right now we just put bunch of creatives in one set, and if it show any potential, we just put it on a pause. And actually that approach means that we let's say treat our creative as a consumer material. And yes, it's sad, but it's true. So the core focus here will be creative diversity, algorithm freedom, broad targeting, and as a result, you will get the stronger or more stable performance. What else can you do today? We started using bit multiplier for precision. That help us manage bids for specific audience segments. For example, if the product was created to the people 25 plus, before we just, let's say, choose in age 25 plus, but right now we work with the lower bid, and just to give algorithm more information and just to put the lower bid for the most irrelevant audience, in that case, for example, from 80 to 34. And we see that that approach really works, and it's influenced the auction to direct budget toward a more, let's say, high value users. What else? We manage campaigns on the ad level. It means what we just let campaigns live their best life and optimize as much as possible. But what we really manage is budget, of course, but we can actually, let's say, influence only by creatives, and we manage it by uploading different types of creatives for the campaign. So it was about the Meta, and right now let's talk about the Google. We always started from the searching campaigns, and it's a very great fundamental strategy for any product, because you already working with the people who are more warm, are really interested in the problem solving that your product can solve. We use broad long tail keywords. We definitely write the relevant pursue aft copy, and we scale to all localized markets. It means that we typically we start with the English-speaking countries, and then when we see the small potential from the different, we can, for example, test Spanish markets because it's a big one, or the Germany or the France also good very well, and you can really translate it in one day, using the AI. So it's not a big deal. And only after that, we expand to our campaign times. We try Google Display Networks, then you can already work with the creatives and videos. And demand gen, then you can reach more new users for you. And especially, it's a very good right now. It's bombing, and it helps you to create more personalized ad. And Performance Max. So creative tips for Google Ads. Yes, we really regularly and constantly analyze our segments, our products, our audience, everything. But we really analyze how audience use our product, then they use it. And it's very interesting because from different forums, you can find a brilliant idea for your ad copy. For example, for one Helen Fitness clients, we just searching for some new angels to the text, and we found very fun one. The woman just shared that she's in trouble because she lost one size, and her husband are really angry right now because she's spending all money to the wardrobe upgrading. So we just put that information to the Spark and ad copy, and we just really read be aware if you if you lost one size, you will be in trouble because you will need to spend more money to update your wardrobe. And that's performed very, very cool, very well. And that's really interesting because it says a lot about that you really understand your audience, you really understand what we are living for, and what is like the side problem can happen in their life. And after that, yes, exactly, we transform that insight into new creative ideas after we try it on search. So, TikTok. TikTok, I guess it's clear for now what it's our creative first channel, and creative is a key, especially on the TikTok, and it's essential to find a way how to visualize the user pain points, and how or what is your product value. Micro-segmentation, it's mean what we advise you to set up really a broad targeting campaigns, but try to find your audience by your creative message, the message what you use in your creatives. Fast testing and refresh, it means that, I guess, you already know that the creative burn out very quickly, and you just really need to rebuild all that, your, let's say, creative process and creative strategy as well. Conversion optimization, we advise you to optimize on purchases, because it helps algorithm to find the people who really make a purchase. Flexible scaling, so you can scale on that platform in vertical or in horizontal way. In vertical, it means that if you find already one problem that you solve using that product, so you just put as much as possible to find this person who are really interested in that. Or if you use the horizontal one, it means that you will find the more problems that your product can solve, and just your audience much more wider, and you can grow in that way. And about the geo, yes, it's not a secret, but we definitely see that using tier 1, for example, Europe or US, it's like give you a more stable and more high LTV. But if you need more volume for your traffic, you can use the tier 2 or tier 3. And just to summarize, like what works on TikTok right now, creative that highlight user pain points and show product value. We definitely make decision on the new creatives on the day 2 of testing, and if it don't show any potential, we just put it on pause and delete it. And here's like a common reason for bans. It's like a sexual content, financial products, and releasing promises. And I would like to emphasize here, but you actually can still run campaigns in that verticals, but you should be more creative to find a way just to say your story. And yeah, we regularly clean up all disapproved ads to keep campaigns running smoothly. So key takeaway from traffic sources, across different channels, the campaigns that constantly perform are the ones with creative diversity. More formats, more hooks, more angles, and you will get better performance. And it leads us perfectly to the second part of presentation. Creative fatigue is real. We see it across different channels that repeated exposure just makes your audience blind to your ads. And like CPAs start climbing right at the point that the creative passes the threshold exposure. And that's interesting. So creative fatigue negatively impacts performance, and that's clear. Yeah, we are on the right slide. So that actually body of the creative that can be useful for you, and you can make a picture of that. Meta shared actually maybe 1 month ago that can actually, let's say, make your performance better. Because like people have like a not continuous attention, but cumulative attention. And I would like to emphasize here that you have, but like it's like the last research is what we read, but it's true, you have only 0.4 of second to grab attention from the user. It means like there is no several seconds. You have like only 0.4. It's like when you're blind. It's like this. And 20 years ago, like creative was suffered from to tell story in 1 minute. Like you have like a 60 second for that, but right now they have only 5. So challenge yourself and challenge your creative team. Don't hate me, to try to share and sell your story in 5 seconds. And one more key from the creative, so it's message diversification. And I already mentioned that it's really needed to create like a bunch of creative, and it's difficult. It's really difficult to keep your profitability. But here, the example, then you can just recycle your already existed creative. And we regularly like analyze our audience, that there is pain points, and you can see here that we created a video. It's a very viral one, just woman who is sitting and covered by blanket, and the message was, why doesn't any love me? And we just tried to put it the same for a man, and it was actually a very good decision for us. So yeah, start level for you, just create strategy, includes message that appeal to different audience. But the pro level is the answer to question or problem in someone's life my product is solving. Here you can see, I guess we can move forward, yeah. Actually, there is like some videos, but I don't know, they don't work right now. That's okay. That's happened. So here you can see, let's say, the most trendiest things that actually exist in the market right now. First of all, it's salute. Personality type and mini tests. It means that we really see that people love to analyze themselves, to define themselves. Whatever it will be like your astrology sign, or maybe your emotional type or archetype. Whatever, people use that, people share with the friends, and also people argue about the results. So it's rise your engagement. Second powerful choice, it's a choice-based stories. Then creative presents like a real life story, or maybe like very emotional situation with 2 different outcomes. The first one is a very obvious, but the second it's a very unobvious. And I guess the people curiosity is behind that, what is really drive performance here. AI personalization, I guess it's clear. People really think that AI can predict their husband face or their like future kids' faces as well, so you can use that. Find yourselves trigger. It means that people see your ad, they just immediately recognize themselves, and if you do it, you are like a very in a good path, because if people recognize themselves, we want to discover more about the product. And the provocative hooks, then you can see here, it can be, I will say it's based on the conflict. For example, you can use like a very untypical statement like high blood sugar messing up your nerves, or what is the dumbest thing what you can do in a relationship, or do you know what I hate? Something like that, just immediately grab attention, because people feel a little bit insecure. I just want to know, maybe I do that the same in a relationship. So, creatives and AI, all that things do right now AI. We generate different types of static visuals and the video as well. We really do much more faster analysis using AI. We also find user insights, prediction, like creative strategy boost. We also write a lot of texts using by AI. And right now it's like a real example how AI help us to, let's say, reveal an obvious audience pain points. So it was like we have been working with the man funnels. We using different creatives to that. It was like it's related to the mental health, and we just think that the message like why anyone's love me will be perform as much as good as it did for the woman audience, but that actually we have a good conversation with the ChatGPT Pro and find out the new message. And the main message was like why I choose the wrong person. So that is my problem. And that shaped everything, and we just tested many times. It has like statistically significant results, and you can see here that AI version like drove multiply increase in performance. And here, last, I'm very happy. I'm very hope that you are not so tired. So last but not least, AI toolkit for the ad creative production. Here you can see the all tools that we use. We use it regularly. We use it every day. For example, for research, for like audience, competitors, we use Sensor Tower, AdHeart, Pipettes, etc. For the analyze and some prediction, we use ChatGPT Pro, DXIP, and for the production, we use ChatGPT as well because it works perfectly, much more better than the other models. And for the video, we use Runway, Agent, and etc. So it was about the performance marketing and what we use. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Diana, and thank you especially for giving such a bright speech on your birthday. So, yeah. Happy birthday. Yeah, guys, 1 second. We are in rush. Sorry, can someone help me? Yeah, sorry, can you help me here? I don't get how it works. So, yeah, that was a really nice explanation how you should do the creatives and user acquisition. Okay, yeah, it's here. And it's really important task for all of our clients. Actually, like for most of our clients, the main problem is not the web funnels themselves, but the user acquisition that they have to do for these funnels and how to come up with the creatives. So yeah, my speech. Okay, not working. Okay. Yeah, so I'm Igor, I'm from Web2Wave. We are cool, we are Meta business partners, meaning they chosen us as the official provider of Web2App tools for their clients. We have a lot of different cool clients. Yeah, and what I would like to highlight is that the way how we build now mobile applications is kind of different than like a year ago. For instance, now I see and we even do it by ourselves. We never code mobile applications by like real code. Only Cursor, these kind of stuff, Rust. That means that there will be more apps coming to the market every day. There will be more niche apps that will come to the market, and the competition will grow because like it's not about building now. To build is pretty simple. The question is how to sell it, how to market it, how to deliver it to the users. So that's why we have to talk about. Okay, yeah. The first part is that we do the ad creatives. We have the first contact. We catch an attention, but then we have to convert this attention to real subscription, and this is what my topic is about. Like why do people buy? How to convince them to make purchase in your subscription app. So and well, people buy when the perceived value of the product is higher than the price that you put onto this product. Meaning, if you put lower price, the conversions will be lower, but LTV will be shit, and you cannot live with this LTV. So you have to increase the perceived value of the product. Perceived value meaning this is the value that they created in their mind. And as an Inception movie, our goal is to get into someone's mind and start thinking, force them to start that they have this problem and they need to solve this problem. And that's why web to app funnels are built the way they're built. So does anyone do not know what is web to app funnel? So yeah, web to app funnel is when we, after the advertising, we send the user not to a mobile application, but to usually a quiz on the web. User completes this quiz, they learn about our mobile application, and then we charge them. And all of the web to app funnels are kind of similar. They have the same structure. The most important parts are the hook, the first screen. So as Diana said, that you have only 1.5 seconds to catch the user's attention. Same applies to the first screen. You have just 1 second of the user's attention to show them why they need to complete this quiz, what offer, what value they will get in the end, or what problem they will solve. So it should be pretty simple. And yeah, the first screen, like usually on average, 50% of users will drop off in your first screen. So when you start the first funnel, like even 70, 80% may drop off on that screen. So you have to experiment a lot on the first screen. And there are two main things that you have to put there. The first one is the text, the unique value proposition that you put into the title, and the image that supports this title. So they have to scan the same value proposition, the same offer from image and from text. Examples. Find and fix root cause of overweight using self-hypnosis. It can be detailed. So the offer can and should be detailed. So the users will see, understand what we offer them. Transform your child's ADHD struggles into a success story. Eliminate procrastination and seize the day to live your life to the fullest. Perfect. And the images, they are not just like illustration. They support, they either visualize the person after the problem is solved, or they visualize the person at where they are. So here at Hypnosio, it visualizes the life after. Here, it visualizes where they are right now. So they can scan and relate to that. Align the first screen with creative. You created some videos, and in this video, you catch the user's attention. Continue with that attention in the funnel on the first screen. If you have multiple target audiences, create multiple funnels, change only the first screen. The content can be the same, but the first screen should be different, related to every target audience and to every creative that you have. And quiz should be as a friendly psychologist. It will talk to you, it will understand your problem, it will say that I got you, and everything will be solved. And in the end, it takes you money. So the better the psychologist, the more money it will take. And it doesn't feel like a boring survey. So we don't have it, so we don't have this slide. But yeah, the thing is, try to role play your quiz. You will be the quiz, and the other person will be the user. And if you will ask the questions, and the person will find the answer that they want to answer, and if you have a conversation, or like real verbal conversation, that's great. If it feels boring, then rebuild your funnel, rebuild your onboarding. It shouldn't be just a boring survey. Spin questions. It's a technique from B2B sales, actually. This is like, the main idea is when you go to a B2B sale, you don't start selling your product directly. You at first start asking questions about like, what is your situation? How big is your company? Where do you live? Like, are you married or not? And then you start asking questions that will focus on the user's problem. So they will start think about their problem. And by that, they increase the value of the problem. They may not remember that, like, I don't know, they're overweight or something like that. But by asking the questions, you will make them more anxious about this problem, and by that they will want more to solve it. Yeah, let's go back. So problem questions, then implication questions, and need payoff questions. So you start with, who are you? What is your problem? How this problem does affect your life? And how you see your life after the problem is solved. this is like the whole structure of the conversation with the funnel that you should build, and it works like in almost any B2C business, not even only in subscription apps. And it's really important to support the user during the funnel. So here, question: are you happy with the way things are going in your life? You don't use the answer to this question in your product. It doesn't change in any way. But when they click not sure, you support them like, it's okay to feel uncertain. I understand you. Yeah, here, are you prone to overthinking? Like, of course, everyone. Like, we all need clarity at times. So, I mean, friendly psychologist. Here, again, another example. You have to list and write down the objections that the users might have in their head, like what they will think when, about like why they will not succeed. Write down all these problems, create screens for these problems, and explain like, hey, we understand you. Like, if you think that it will be hard, we got you. We understand. Like, everyone says that. 90% of our users says that. Yeah, and talk about some like problems. Does your child find it difficult to finish a task or homework at home or at school? I mean, yes, it happens with everyone. So, and visualize the future. People are paying not for the features, not for the products itself. They pay for their future, their needs, and how they see themselves in their future. That's why a lot of funnels have these kind of questions, like, do you have any big events? Like, yes, I have a vacation. When? And then in graph, you just visualize what they will get by the end of this period, by this time. It's really important. For almost all big health and fitness apps have this question. So you can do it with this question, or you can do it with visualization. If you have like a metric, like weight is a metric, then visualize it. If you don't have a metric, I will have another examples here. Yeah, role play. Okay, yeah, we had it. QR code, yeah, if your smartphone is smart enough, you can scan this QR code. But yeah, you can go to web2wave.com, sign up, and there you'll have the feature to generate funnels with AI, or just by us, and we'll help you. The UI, pretty simple. Most questions should be single choice questions when you answer the question and you go directly to the next screen. So no need to answer the question and show continue button, because like two taps instead of one. It's really important to do that. In between all the questions, what we call like a mind fuel. People may lose this mind fuel and they will be tired, and you have to inject some dopamine into them. So that's why add some animations in between. Visualize, like support them, congratulate them that they, hey, great, like you completed few screens. Great, let's continue. Yeah, then the paywall. Paywall on web is different than in mobile application. In mobile application, people already downloaded your app. They invested their time, their megabytes. They have a clear intention into using your app. In web, it's different. That's why the paywalls are different too. So let me, yeah. So this is like the classical. It's better for me. They're huge. They know how to do paywalls. So you visualize before, live before and after. It's really important. You make a commitment by your 4-week personalized plan. So like in 4 weeks, you will get these results. You can put this offer into the title on the paywall or on the page before the paywall, but you have to visualize like your life will be different in 4 weeks, and this is how your plan to achieve this goal will look like. And then you work with the objections that they have in their mind, and the objections will be, who the hell are you? Why should I pay you? You asked me to put my bank card on web. I just was looking into my reels, whatever, and now you ask me to pay with a bank card. How will I manage it? Like, what I'm paying for. Is it a mobile application at all? Because users may not understand it. If I don't like it, can I get my money back? Like in Apple or in Google Play, they know how to cancel their subscriptions. They know how to do refund. On web, it's not clear for them. And again, the question like, who the hell are you? Why should I trust you? That's why all of the funnels, they have these logotypes, Forbes, Wall Street Journal, New York Post, put that they have millions of users. It's kind of gray area, but it does convert. Another structure, another paywall, but the same structure. Like it's a different company, but the structure is the same. Yeah, and make a photo. These are like 13 blocks that you have to have on your web to app funnel on the paywall. You can have more. Don't make it smaller. The pricing is different again. We can do more tricky things with the pricing. Like we can sell 3-day subscription for $9.99, then switch user to a yearly subscription. We will charge like, I don't know, $79.99 for the first year. For the second year, we can charge like $200. Like you can do anything you want. It really depends on how brave you are and how good your payment system is. Downsell on form close. Again, it's kind of forbidden on mobile, but still a lot of companies do that. So when you show a paywall with a payment form, when the user clicks it, show another paywall with a discount. Like it can be the same, just one additional block with the timers. It increases the conversions. Then upsells. This is like a gold mine. Especially with Stripe, when the user made a purchase, they subscribe to your application, and after that, do not send them directly to mobile application. Offer them something, I don't know, like PDF, or again, if you are brave enough, offer them additional subscription that contains the same features that users already have. With additional price, I don't know, like $9.99 for first month, or like $29, something like that. And you can have multiple upsells, like 5 pages in a row. It can increase your, like easily plus 20%. It's like just generate few PDFs with ChatGPT. If you will make it smart and you'll create like 4 or 5 different upsells, like you can even double your LTV, which is good. Yeah, so, and when the user goes to your paywall and they're not paying there are like 2 reasons. One reason is that you have a technical problem, so just test it. The other is that people are not ready to pay. This is like the main problem with the web funnels, and most counterintuitive, because like most marketers and product managers, they think that we have to decrease the friction, make as short onboarding as possible, send to the paywall, don't make it longer drops conversions. But no, you don't have to worry about the users who dropped off during the funnel. You have to worry about the users who are on the paywall and are not ready to pay. So that's why you have to, like, usually you have like, if you tested the paywall and you see that everything works fine, try to make the funnel longer. Ask more questions. People will start to think more about their problem, and the results, they will be more ready to pay. You may lose in conversions. You will have fewer users on the paywall, but their intention to pay will be higher. Yeah, remove payment terms. Again, great thing, but it does convert. By default, Stripe has this part like that explains in details all the subscription terms. You can remove this part and put it like somewhere lower. Again, like you have to create an easy way to cancel the subscription and make refunds. It's critical. If you don't have like a magic payment system, it's critical for you. But we see that removing payment terms from the form and putting it somewhere else does increase conversion. Yeah, so like don't don't show it really visible. Timers, discounts, very, very, very important. Like always put trial offer ends in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, add huge discounts. And by the way, these are not just discounts. These are the prices for the first period and for the second period. So for instance here, 39 for 12 months. The next year it will be renewed for 79.99. And again, it does increase your LTV. And it's crucial to have the prices like that. Yeah, and by the way, you see the buy with Apple Pay button. Yeah, it's really important to add Apple Pay. And we usually recommend adding Apple Pay right on the paywall under the prices. So if the user has, if the user is on iOS, they can buy with just one click. They don't have to open the payment form. Yeah, Apple Pay. And then, yeah, about this magic payment system that I was talking about. It can be hard for you like to manage the Stripe. Stripe is really easy to start with, but then when you have chargebacks, and you will have them because people not really understand that they are subscribing to something else. Even when they see like 3 months plan, it's not clear for them that in 3 months this plan will be renewed. So they may go to their bank account saying, hey, I didn't authorize this transaction. It will be a chargeback, then a dispute, then reputation of your Stripe account will go down. They can block you and you will lose like literally everything. That's why there are other tools how to handle that, like Pedal or Primer, completely different ways how to solve the need of this problem solvation. But yeah, you have to experiment with the payment systems and find alternatives if you want to scale. Yeah, that's it. That's it from my side. Do you have any time? 4 minutes, yeah. Maybe you have some questions to me or Diana.
A question about difference between web funnel and app funnel, like onboarding. Thought that the paywalls are usually different because different trust, yeah, and when you already download the app or not. What are the differences? Like the main structure, like spin sales, same applicable for app onboarding or other differences?
Yeah, the same psychology is the same. Like we applied the same structures in mobile application, but you have to like consider what are the traffic sources. So the more spontaneous purchase, the longer should be the funnel. So if your mobile application is found by some organic or like the users go to the app store and they find your application, don't create that long funnel because like they want to use your app. They have a high intention. So that's why it should be shorter. Like in utilities, it's shorter because like there is no huge problem to uncover from the user. But if this is a flow, like the problem that they may not think about at the moment, then it should be like longer and talking more about the user problems. So, okay, yeah, okay. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah. And yeah, we have another room there, so yeah.
Hello. Okay, yeah, good.
Wait,
Hello, everyone.
we're gonna have to try. Okay, this works.
Yeah.
It's the first time that somebody hand me a microphone, so I have the tendency of speaking very loud. So if you see that, just do this to me. I will understand. Okay. Okay. Please.
So, hi, today we are going to speak about designing with AI from curiosity to confidence. I hope you enjoy. I think my name is Madalena Costa. I am working in a new, the other arrow. No, the other. Yeah, this is me. So I'm working on building human X intelligence, which is a concept between using humans in the center of everything with intelligence, which both means artificial intelligence, but also the human intelligence. And yeah, it's a movement around AI design, product, humanity that grows together. I'm also part of the Ladies at UX. I am a facilitator for I Am Remarkable, which used to be a Google community, and also Google Women Tech Makers. And yeah, this is a little bit about me.
And I clearly don't have as professional presentation as Maddie. So I'm Lola. I currently work as a freelancer designer at Henkel. I was before in the whimsical world of marketing as creative copywriter. And I also, on the side, taught design for some UX bootcamp specifically. Yeah, I'm intolerant to gluten and also corporate lingo. So I work in tech, but this doesn't work. Okay.
Yeah,
so today, our special guest is artificial intelligence. Doesn't need further introduction than this, I'm assuming. But I think we can jump in.
Yeah.
So you don't know me, but I'm a millennial. I know my skincare says otherwise, but I'm a millennial, and I don't know how many of you are in here, but I think our generation has seen probably the biggest range of technical change. So in the past 30 years, we went from no computer to computers in every single shape and form. So from your phone to your smartwatches to pretty much anything, even in your cars. And I think that created a very good adaptability skill. I think we are a very resilient generation, which is great. But we are also very prone, like by nature, we are not very prone to change. Like humans just resist any kind of change. And this happens along the time, not just in tech evolution, but also in any kind of evolution along the way. So imagine every time that this happened, there were some skeptical people saying, this is not gonna last very long, this is killing our creativity, this is killing our world, and so on and so forth. I have been part of that movement. I am still a very skeptical person, and I think with AI, this is gonna be even more enhanced. So it's part of the process. It's nothing to be ashamed of, but it's something we need to be aware, because it's the first step of many others that is gonna bring you to actually confidence into actually really using the tools that we have to make progress, not to just, be scared of them. And they do change the way we work. They do change the way we interact. Imagine social media didn't exist 10 years ago, and now we have content creator, we have influencers, we have social media manager. All these jobs appear because of something we didn't have a long time ago. So same for AI. AI is not taking something from us, but it can open further opportunities. But we're not gonna lie to you, like it's gonna change our market, and I think we should adapt to it.
So let's circle back to where we are now, which is the present. This is a study done in it was released in 2025. It was presented in 2024 at the World Economic Forum, and it basically shows here the shift between how we work with AI and how we will work with AI. Basically, right now, more or less 58% will be human in 2025, with machines being 42%. And by 2030, the projection is that humans will be 34%, machine 33%, and collaboration between both will be 33. So by this, I mean machine will work alone. We will work alone, and we will also work together, taking in another direction, which is the skills of the future of what it will be. The positive gaps are here, which are the analytic parts of it, and how we have the creative thinking, basically what AI cannot do right now well. With curiosity, lifelong learning, and helping AI also learn with us. But also there's the negative part, or the negative skills, that's how they called in the study, which is like routine data entry, there's manual detectory, basic literacy, things that are more basic that the computer can do alone because there's a less error basis, basically. But there's a lot of things about this study. If you want to see it, it's Job Report 2025. It's a very good report. It's Future of Jobs 2025. It's very good, and it also shows the jobs that will this year from next year disappear completely, or yeah, almost like 90%, and then the ones that are growing and growing. But yeah, not only tech. There's more than tech there, so it's very interesting. I guess we can go to a more goal-oriented way of the presentation. I would think so, if you want to showcase how we will do this.
Okay, so self-reflection moment, okay? Think about a tool that it doesn't have necessarily to be technology, but because this is Portugal Tech Week, please make an effort. But something that you once resisted and now you cannot live without. Also, you feel free to share if you want to, but you don't have to. If anybody has something in your head that you think like,
this is very important because it helps you to put your feet on the ground and understand what you're actually using versus what you're not using. And it would also help you build more products because you will understand what works not only for you, but for what is happening around. That's why it's good for us to share. We will share our own experiences also after. But if you have anything you'd like to share, something that you like to use or not, it's okay also if no, maybe in the future. Oh, nice. Yeah.
You were a hardcore fan of Sketch. Yes, me too.
Yeah, so it was difficult to get onboarded on Figma for me. But I somehow, now I can't live without it.
Did you change because your company forces you to, or because?
No, just because curiosity.
Okay, good. Great, thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, I did Adobe to Figma. Big change, amazing change for me, I guess. It was very, very hard for me specifically. It was my company didn't want to. But I'm like, it's much better, Figma. It will be much better with integrations, and then in the future, and Adobe will end. At the time it didn't, but now it's dead. But yeah, at the time we didn't, but I was like, this is not gonna last compared to the rest, and it didn't. So thankfully they listened to me and we changed everything. But yeah, I totally get you. Yeah, for sure. Anyone else would like to?
That is DeepL or DeepL that I use a lot. And in the beginning I resisted, but for me it's the best one to translate nowadays.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. So, I mean, I normally change easily. Like I use Microsoft and Google Suite, so for me that's not a problem. But I have one problem with using Microsoft and Apple, and it's because I'm comfortable with one, and not because I don't want to change. And sometimes people are too comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, for me that is Apple, which I hate because I don't like their new design flow and user experience. But yeah, I'm Apple, and it's very hard to leave Apple now, especially as a designer. But yeah, it's very easy because since I'm a designer, I can work with multiple screens at the same time. I can copy and paste when I need to copy and paste. I don't like to have WhatsApp on my computer, so I have on my phone, I just copy from my computer. Once you get it, it's very hard to leave, yeah, for sure. They did it very well. Good. Anyone else, or should we share ours?
We can share ours.
Okay. So mine specifically, it's about Figma, but more specifically on the AI purpose. Figma, and to be honest, a lot of AI tools. At the beginning, I was very hard. I treasure a lot the idea of continuous learning and continuous thought. I like to think a lot when I'm working, and I was very scared at the time, a few years ago, of that this situation would happen where it would become very generic. I would become very lazy, and in the beginning it happened. I was like, I don't need to be working a lot because I just can go to my couch and watch TV because I work remotely. And so it's already hard working remotely with something that does your job okay-ish. Yeah, it was hard, but then I started to go deeper and deeper and have more of an understanding of how these tools work. So I didn't stay at the surface level. I actually went to understand how it worked, where they get the information, what was the logic, what was the triggers, and so on, which I will talk a little bit after. And then basically now I use, like I was saying, with intention and clear reasons. So everything that I use, and I will share how I do it, but everything that I use, there is a reason, there is an intention, and there is a purpose from the beginning. There's never, I'm using because. And I do have rules now that I know how to use it and what not to use and what to use. I have rules that I don't go out of it to make sure that I don't get around in the loop of just adding and doing because of doing, yeah.
I wish I was as wise. So I resist a lot of things. I start with AirPods. Actually, I should start with Apple in general because I was not an Apple person at all. I still don't own an iPhone. I refuse to. I switched to Apple just because of my job, but I'm not an Apple person. But AirPods are really good. They're just really good at noise canceling. They're very invisible. They're very compact, comfortable. It just added a lot to my life. Contactless payment, I just don't want to have more stuff on my phone. I'm a very anxious person, so if they steal my phone, I'm like, at least you're not going to get my credit cards. But ever since I'm here in Portugal, you use this MBWay and Multibanco, which is just like, it's amazing. You can just pay with like a QR code. I never thought QR code were so useful. And yes, any AI tool, to be very honest with you. Normally, I am I tend to like my comfort zone. So if I don't have to make the change, unless I'm really curious about the tool, I will probably stay there. Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. Now, I think curiosity can also be induced somehow. I think I'm assuming all of you at least opened LinkedIn at least once, and all of you have seen this hype of, oh my God, you can create everything with whatever AI tool out there. So I think sometimes we are also kind of like, oh my God, I need to get on this train, even though I'm not necessarily curious, I'm just afraid that I will miss out. FOMO is a great trigger for trying new stuff. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think for me specifically, what changes that I understand where now to strike a balance. Like, I don't have to be dependent on tools. I use them if they actually serve me. And it should not be the other way around for me. But I think it's super important to understand where we stand today, and that's why we're giving this talk, right? So how do we go from a place where I'm resisting the tools to a place where I'm like, I know what they do to me, and I know how I can use them. Now, this is a lie, okay? The path is never linear. This is a myth. It's very complex, very zigzagging, but there's one thing that I think it's common to a lot of us, and that thing is practice. You just have to try it out. And we build habits through repetitions. So in order to understand something and feeling comfortable with using it, you're going to have to test it, make mistakes, learn from that, and go on and so on. So this is more a scale that we created. Obviously, there are even more steps here. But take a second to just read through it and for yourself see, where do you stand today? Like, knowing what you know, at what part of these scales do you feel you are?
You don't have to say it out loud.
No, it's just a moment for self-reflection.
Yeah.
Today we are raising awareness at a lot of levels. So I can tell you where I am, and Maddie is going to tell you where she is. So I feel here it's a little bit more towards reflection. It's not because I'm not good at alignment, I promise. It's because I think I am still in the phase of trying a lot of things. With some tools I'm very comfortable, and I know that, for instance, as a designer, I know I have enough foundation to be able to know which tools can serve in my personal workflow. But again, resistant to change is still very, very ingrained in me, so it's still quite hard to integrate a lot of things or even be proactive. I was part of a team before where we would have a weekly where each of us is gonna push each other to find some other tools, and then we would exchange. And then we are gonna test them and see, okay, for a month, which one did actually stuck with us? Which one was actually useful? And then we iterate from there, you know? So I wanna bring you also a practical example of how I worked with AI. Right now, at Henkel, I am part of an internal team that is creating, I work with chemists, okay? Do I know anything about chemistry? No. But I work with chemists and I am trying to build a tool for them, so you might understand that I have to understand a lot of things that are way out of my comfort zone. I can imagine something about food delivery, but chemistry, not my thing. So I am using Figma Make to prototype something because I really want to make sure that the testing is going to be as unbiased as possible. So before we build something that they're never going to use, I want to make sure that the prototype that we have built at least can bring them a little bit more value than what they have right now. So it's supposed to put them like into a specific context. But as you can imagine, didn't go very smooth. So I'm gonna show you my conversation with Figma Make. So I started with asking something very small, okay? I just wanted a timer, you know, a timer, that like round thing that just like goes from left to right. It's supposed to be simple. And then it didn't show me anything. I didn't add this here, but here I was already an iteration 201, okay? And Figma, bless it. I'm sorry, this is very small, but it says all the timer improvements are now in place. And I was like, well, that's not true, because I'm clicking through it and the timer is not there. It's there, but it's not moving. So where is my interaction? And Figma said, the content should now render immediately. So it kept saying, yeah, it's there. And I am like, no, we are not on the same page. And I love how Figma kind of gaslight me into thinking, yeah, no, I fixed it, it's there. And I'm not proud of it, okay, but I kind of lost it. So I started writing a lot of caps, and whoever created Figma was a genius, because they were like, oh, the user is very frustrated. I'm like, oh, okay, at least he understands emotion. Doesn't know how to fix the tool, but he understands me. I never felt like more empathized with from an AI tool before. It kept gaslighting me. I lost it some more. And then it kept on saying, oh, she's screaming at me now. And it kept on going on and on, saying, I fixed it, I fixed it. And now we are at version 536. I fixed it. In case you was wondering, I fixed it. But it took 50 more iterations. So why I'm telling you the story, not to make myself look like a crazy person, but because the output of AI is still quite laggy. You need to understand how to talk to it. At this point, I actually switched to ChatGPT to say, maybe I cannot talk with Figma, because Figma operates in a specific engine and I'm not a software developer. So maybe it needs to understand how I'm talking, but maybe my natural language is not clear enough. So how do I can tweak this tool to my own needs? So that's when ChatGPT came into the picture. We started analyzing everything. We kind of fixed it. But even that was a lot of work. Sure. Well, I mean, you can also.
I mean, you said you're developing a tool for chemistry. So can you explain to me, is it like for a chemical component? Is it for a pharmaceutical industry? Because I'm trying to understand more. Yeah, because I studied sciences, innovation management. So
no. Then maybe I should not tell you. Okay. So it's about surface treatment. Do you know what surface treatment is? Okay, good. So I'm specifically working in a department called adhesives. So we produce glue, but we produce industrial glue, okay? So in this case, we are basically, imagine you need to create a car. Apparently, my company produces glue also for NASA. I didn't know that. I was like, well, we are important people. But imagine a smaller scale, a car. To put two pieces together, you need glue, okay? So in order to put these two pieces together, they need to do some tests because a car had to withstand a lot of, let's say, rain, temperature, and so on. So it can be subject to corrosion and a lot of things. So in order to test this, they do what we call surface treatment. So they treat the surface, they create the test, check if the glue sticks, and then they move on. Sure, that's a good way of summarizing it. Yes, okay, something like this. But all of that done in a lab, which I visited and I didn't destroy, so that's good. Matt.
So, this is me. I am a bit here. I've tried a lot. Right now, these are in the mix mostly. There's a few others, but these are like the ones. I don't know if you can see, because I decided that I wanted to go low instead of going high. But yeah, basically, I will show an example of how I use or where I use specifically. But I think more or less, these are more frameworks than anything, but I considered it a tool in some way, yeah. So this was a way that I worked for a mobile app for tasks and reflection on tasks that you did for your company. So basically here the signals are like what helps the product to interact with each specific part of the process. Or for me specifically on my job, which is the product loop, which all of these are not in order. It doesn't matter where it is, but all of them work together. So we need the human in order to create the signals. We need the product loop, which is something that I actually teach, but I will just say a quick one, which is you have in the middle the conductor or the one that moves the loop, which is artificial intelligence, and then you have between the loop all the signals that connect and create that product that works together. And then you have the systems that help the actual signal in the back to work with the product loop, the human need, and then the opportunity, because you need to know where is the opportunity in order to create a product that makes sense with artificial intelligence. I always like to start with thinking. So I always have ChatGPT because it's what I like to use as a baseline, I would say. But I start with the problem brief and value proposition for this specific tool, where we started by analyzing with Perplexity and Claude, because I really like to use Claude for my analyzing and also in some sense for developing to understand the reasoning and actually framing with things that are happening in the market, because it's very good. Perplexity is very good to understand what studies and also how people are using this type of tools, and then I can create something with both that will actually have a niche understanding of what the product will look like. And then from there I go to designing, which I like to use Figma and plugins. I try to use Figma Make a little bit, but it needs a bit of it still needs but it still needs to go. But I use Figma and plugins with AI. I will show after a few of them that I use. There's a very good ones, AI plugins right now that I like to use for the high mockups and prototype. With Cursor, I really like to use Cursor. Not as the final destination for me specifically, for this phase, it wasn't. But it helped me to start to read the code and understand if it was looking good or not, and if it was reflecting the previous code that we had. And then, yeah, which is, oh, I forgot to say. So the reflection trigger is like what makes me start to think. So what moves me from, I don't know if you ever had, when you started a project, that you felt stuck, that you needed to move from the first step. Basically, I call it the reflection trigger, because by understanding with Perplexity what is happening in the market, it already gives me a push. So basically, that's why it's reflection trigger. And then the designing, which is the friction trigger, it's where I see all the problems and where I start to think, okay, there's more to it. I need to actually read it better, or I need to actually do visuals and interactions that make sense for the overall flow with the user. And then the building part, which most of them, they go back and forward. It's the where I start to use with a bit of development, because I know a little bit of it, and a systemic logic, which is something that I like to use to understand each step of the process that I'm trying to implement within the product with the artificial intelligence. What I like to use is every time I'm adding artificial intelligence to a product, I have to think of strategy and long-term planning. So I don't add right away everything to this tool, because first of all, it can break. It can not only the trust of the user or the client, but it can break the actual tool. So I like to make it as a step-by-step plan, depending on the project. For this one specifically, we only added on the first one reflection-based with artificial intelligence for strategic. So we did. It's it's nothing. It's in terms of using artificial intelligence, something very basic, but it helped us understand the logic behind, or to create a personalization for the user, in the sense, because we started with the MVP. Once the MVP is there, we can create an onboarding based on personalization, because they've been using the reflection. So basically we started from there. And then, yeah, Lovable, I like Lovable. I don't know if it's a love or hate for most people. I like it. It's very good because it helps me to add my designs from Figma in a way that is most reflective of what I want to do. And then in the end, I always reflect, which is the feedback trigger, which will, yeah, I know, we are partying here. I like to use Notion AI because when I'm thinking, I just write, and then it helps me to construct a better understanding of what it is. And then Notebook LLM, this is what I use for analytics and for forms and analyzing, because I can create my own environment in it, and I add my documentation, and then I can cluster, cost check, and so on. So it's very interesting for analyzing, not only for me specifically to see if the tools are working, but also for the product itself. And then, yeah, designing, learning, and interaction, I think it's very important. Besides that, what I like to do is to reflect on how to build with you, if that's okay. If you could help me with this, you can put the hand or just say yes, but or whatever. But just tell me if I've already tried using AI in your workflow. Have you ever tried it? You can say yes. It's okay. Yeah, cool. Most people, yes. Okay. I wanted to try, but never actually did. I think, no? Okay. I have no idea what everyone is talking about, and you're just here for the vibes. You? Okay, cool. I'm glad you're here. And I've used ChatGPT, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I think everyone. I use Figma's AI features. Figma, I will tell you later. I've tried something more experimental, like Cursor, Midjourney. How was it? Good, bad? Great, nice. I want to hear after. And now I raise your hand. You're currently paying for at least one AI subscription. Yeah. Oh, not everyone. Nice, interesting. Free stuff. Free stuff. Yeah. So, if you're ever felt like stuck using AI, what caused it? Was it because of the prompt, which now it's becoming like prompt engineering kind of profession, but let's say a prompt didn't work, did that like got you stuck? Maybe a design started to get worse. This happens to me so much. When I start to, the first one is okay-ish, but then I start to ask and it just goes downhill from there and have to restart all over again. And then not that day again, just next day. Tool just didn't get you by this, like the example that Lola shared, just wasn't understanding what she wanted, which...
Or me as a person.
Yeah, exactly. But it was empathic to you. No, of course not, but it just understood the quadrilles of it, but yeah. But yeah, so why is this important? Why I'm asking this? I think it's important for us all to reflect on this and see who's really in control with this. If you ever stop to think if you're starting something right away without thinking and you just go to AI or to a model, are you in control of what you're doing? Have you ever thought of it? Did you just copy paste that random Reddit or LinkedIn or I know Instagram. Yeah, Instagram now has it too. So have you ever just do this? Which one do you feel are more you right now? Yes?
I would say I'm usually more in control, especially when I start a project. I usually think by myself, do my own research, and then use AI as a tool to enhance my research, to organize my ideas, and then I go back to keeping it to myself and to within my team and just explore that. Because I don't know, using too much AI can sometimes make it a bit, it can make it less personal. I know the projects are really personal, but we have like kind of a relationship with our client that is only within humans. And when you start using AI over and over again, you kind of lose that relationship at the end. All right.
Thank you for sharing. Point. Yeah, I would say that makes total sense. Thank you for sharing. It depends on the. I agree with you 100%. Like the projects, it's very important for us to understand where and when to use it, like you were saying, and what are the clients? Because right now something that is happening is we are starting to build AI products for AI products. And I think when we are doing that, for example, it needs to have the component of humans, because when AI is working for AI, they are working for us, not the way around. So I totally get it. So.
I just wanted to add that AI does not have a soul.
Yeah.
And I use it a lot for the brainstorming. But I do believe that if you want to make it a bit more personal, like she said there, I think you need to give it the personal touch. So you can explore, brainstorm with it and then rewrite things. But in the end, it's about having a soul, emotional intelligence as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It makes... let me just say one thing and then I pass. I think that, yes, I agree that it should have emotional when it's directly to us. But when it's AI to AI, it just needs to be... with restrictions in order to feel us. Yeah, because it doesn't matter if it has empathy because they don't care. But for us, yeah. Yeah, I agree with you.
I think I just want to add on what she said, in particular that that's the most important point about being able to actually say, okay, no, I want to use it the moment that I need it, because there is an incredible bias coming from the AI as well. The typical yes man, where you say like, am I doing this right? And AI will say, yes, you are. So no question, no arguing, and that's actually what we need as critical thinkers, I think, in order to get to what we want. If not, we're going to produce exactly the same thing, which is good for the ones that are using it smart, I think, and very bad for the other people.
Related to that, that's very interesting, because most of the reasons that they do that, it's because they want to make us happy, and if they don't, but if we open the door for them not to want to make us happy, it can go to another direction, which is already happening. There's a lot of security problems right now with that, and not only. So it just came out something very, but I'm not for today. But yeah, I agree with you. I think it's very important for us, and it's okay if they agree with us, as long as we know, like you were saying, the baseline of what we are doing. That's why it's important for us to learn, because it's learning with us. And if it doesn't know, it's just going to say, if we say, this is what we should do, it's going to say, yes, of course, that's what you should do.
Yeah.
So if you don't know.
I think I'm in control now, but I used to have a lot of conversations like the one you had.
Did it went better than mine?
Oh no, I was very annoyed for a really long time because I'm a developer, I'm not a designer, so that's something interesting as well. I wouldn't say against AI, but I was very, how do you say, I wasn't a fan of it for a really long time. And I think right now it really helps my job daily, and it's because I'm learning how to use it. So now I feel in control. I think the main problem in what got me into those conversations where I used caps lock as well a lot, and it was very frustrated. There was this specific feature that I spent like 2 weeks on, and I was just getting more and more frustrated. And I think the difference was that I became in control. And I think 2 tips that a mentor of mine gave me was that, one, he told me, think of AI as your junior developer that's helping you. Would you scream at a junior developer, or would you try to understand why it's not understanding what you're trying to convey? Like, the issue maybe is in the way we're communicating with it. And so it completely changed. So it's a junior developer, but actually with access to so much information in so many things, and something that I think you've touched on, and I believe you will touch on more. It's the whole, it's not meant to do things for us, and I don't really believe that it's helping us develop faster, in the sense of it's not like a fast food sort of thing. It's more of, it's helping us grow faster, I would say. And I think that was the big change for me. And so another tip that he gave me that really changed the game for me was, I have like, when I make the prompt, I'm like, I use Claude a lot, and I say, hi Claude, whatever, and I give like a small context, and at the end I say, please feel free to refute anything or ask any questions, or, just don't take everything I say as the goal. And what I say is, the goal is to make something that we're confident on, and that has quality. So that's the goal. The goal is not to get what I'm saying is done, because maybe what I'm saying is not clear enough. So I always ask it to question me. So those 2 things changed the game for me.
Yeah. So yeah. I started applying this as well, and it also was a game changer, because I was the one correcting AI, and then I was getting frustrated because you are supposed to help me, not the other way around. I'm not here to educate you. But at the same time, if you don't, I've noticed that, for instance, with ChatGPT, when we brainstorm, it doesn't give me necessarily the bigger picture. It doesn't question anything unless I say so. And then it makes everything worse, because obviously you can question the premises. Sometimes we are so stuck, at least me as a designer, sometimes I get a client that tells me, okay, we need to do this. And I'm like, okay, but why? Is the premise even good? Are we solving the right issues, or it's just given to me and we need to execute? That's the difference between us and AI. So this critical thinking that was touched upon as well, we are also gonna talk about that. So sorry, let's move on. But agreed with everything you said, that absolutely super relevant today. Okay. Yeah.
So, to finish the questions, if AI were on your design team or product team or wherever team you're in, what role would it play? You don't need to say it if you don't want to say it, but have you ever thought of it? There's a very good book, I think I'll just say it right here, called Co-Intelligence. I advise you to read. It was before, more or less, it was 2024. I think the book is 2024. But it's a very good book, and it makes you think, at least it made me think of more than I was seeing, and more of the frustration. That's when it actually clicked for me, the conversation and the thought process of it. And I started to think of it 100% as a co-intelligence when it needed to be a co-intelligence, and a full autonomy when it needed to be a full autonomy.
autonomy, right?
Yeah.
Automatic.
That's
It's
correct.
Okay. Because it's also like autonomy. So, but yeah, have you thought of it? You don't need to say it out loud, but I think it's important to think of it. Like you said, it's very interesting. Like the junior developer, that even humans, junior developers need direction. So you're just giving it the direction that you need for the project. So makes sense.
Okay. So now we're going to do a little bit of let's share even more. So if you can scan the QR code, and then it's supposed to go to Slido. And I just realized we don't have two screens, so now...
My phone, I have my computer.
Do you see any question or no? Because actually... Okay. No, no, no. It's because I need to activate it. That's why. There you go. So we're gonna, there's just two questions, so it's supposed to be very easy, but no, you can give as many answers as you, yeah, 3 if you can.
Or more, but 3 is like
3 is the minimum, yes.
The good, it's the triangle, it's the perfect.
And it can be also very small things, like writing an email. I use AI a lot to write emails. I love that somebody had to specify email for HR.
Research is like it's research. It's okay.
No, it's okay. So everybody's mailing a chart. What did you do?
Top 3 tests.
Okay, it seems like, oh, somebody's still typing. Okay, but good. I think we can all agree that we're all emailing a chart this week. And research, yes, absolutely. Data analysis, time management. Interesting. Ah, okay, interesting. This is useful. Okay, wireframes, automation designing, design writing. Great. Okay. Sorry, Maddie, you want to say something?
No. I just thought it was interesting. Product. 3 tasks, product.
It is a task at work.
Yeah. Product.
Okay. Let's see. Does this move? Okay. Now, thinking about all these tasks, what kind of tools are you using to help you with these tasks? You can also write none, but if there's something that you've been going to recurrently, multiple times, of
this
course.
is very quick.
Let's see in how many ways you're going to write ChatGPT.
Yeah. Gemini banana, anyone? Gemini banana. Nice. Yeah, it's very good. I agree. I think they were very smart. I don't know if you know, but Google already had this this product ready since 2000. I think it was 18, but they didn't launch it because 2018 because it wasn't ready, and they waited. So while OpenAI released ChatGPT, they were seeing how it would work, and now they are back on the game, and they are probably gonna win. But let's see it. But yeah,
So it's very interesting to see. They now release something that is coming to Europe soon, hopefully, which is the Google automation workflow, which is a bomb. It's very, very good. And it's going to change a lot.
We'll see how this works.
Change a lot. So yeah, Perplexity, I really like it too. So,
sorry, we're a bit out of time.
It's okay.
All right. Does this work now? Yeah. Okay. So, tons of tools, right? It's a pool of overwhelming choices. I don't even know how to even list all of them, and we are creating more and more. So I understand it's super hard and super overwhelming to navigate through all of this. This is just some of the tasks. I didn't put email HR, but imagine it's in there. And even though there's so much products, AI products out there, the actual adoption rate is not that high. I think all of us at some point said the sentence, "Oh, AI is not there yet." That means, roughly translated, that the output of AI is still not 100% reliable, which is good and bad news, right? Because to reconnect to what you said before about critical thinking, for me specifically, I think AI cannot originate something. It accelerates. What does it mean? That I, as a designer, have a trigger in my head whenever I'm using AI to know this output is good, this output needs refinement. Now, imagine that AI right now is not very regulated. So a lot of people have access to so many things. What does it mean? That they don't have the baseline to tell what is good and what's bad. So any CEO can create some design and say, this is great. What does it mean? A lot of very similar product to each other. So the thinking is the thing that makes us different and can help us actually creating better products, better experiences, whatever it is that you want to create and using AI. But AI is a tool. So we should remember that. Because at the end of the day, I think of AI as like my two hands, okay? Like they are an extension of me, and they can do wonders. They can also do harm. Well, not mine specifically, but they could do harm. But they are connected to my brain. If my brain doesn't tell what to do, they don't do anything. This to say that AI can help, but it depends on where. And that's why we are trying to, what we are trying to understand.
So yeah, I don't have time to go through all of it, but you can take a picture, and if you have questions, you can send me a message. But basically, this is the thought process that I have when deciding for each project how I'm going to use the tools and where I start. So it's very important. I start with the project brief, and then I go to the client preferences, and from the client preferences being the specific tools, or here, it depends on the project. So I can start from here, which tools, or by the purpose or the outcome of what I want for the project. And yeah, so pretty self-explanatory. One of the rules that I must have is I don't use I use maximum 1 to 2 tools per project. So you saw before that I always had ChatGPT. I don't consider it a tool. I just consider it like a co-worker maybe. It's not in this mix of rule, but the other two are in the mix of rules of what I use, because this helps me to stay strategic with my thought process. I guess the last thing I would like to say related to this is us as humans, we have something that I think all of us have, which is when there's something that is taking from us, in this case hard skills, we start to think that they're ripping out of us and we don't have anywhere else to go because we worked very hard to get those hard skills. But I think this is just an opportunity for us to go into our soft skills more prone. So I see it opportunity-wise. Instead of taking something from me, it's giving me an opportunity to go to other directions that it will help me become even more human and maybe less mental health problems. So, no, but it's true. It can be an opportunity if you take it as such. So, yeah.
We are not going to have time. So think about one rule of thumb you should do for yourself. This connected to critical thinking. Yeah. This is the last part we just want to say. These are just tools for you to adopt AI in a sustainable way. You can keep track of your own AI, use some journaling, try it out yourself. Stay curious because, stay open-minded. Sometimes it can do wonders. And delegate, but delegate with, awareness, not just for the sake of it, I think. Yeah.
That's much it. I don't know if you know this movie, great movie. Legally Blonde. The first one. But yeah, well, I like his heart. I don't know how to do it, but if you saw it, you know.
Oh, that's me.
But yeah, she went to Harvard, so.
Sorry, that was we had to rush through because we are on a time. But that's
you.
it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for this amazing presentation. Hey everyone, I'm representing the organizers team. I have some bad news.